shoes?
Right in front of you, dear, where they're supposed to be.
Well, I just want to be sure. Yesterday, I walked out of here with my shoes on my ears.
Spacely sprockets and sky-high condos defined Saturday mornings for generations. Yet beneath the catchy theme song, this space-age sitcom hid secrets stranger than its gadgets. From wild behind-the-scenes twists to rare in-show oddities, here come 15 Jetsons facts you never expected. Number 1. The Jetsons reused Flintstones backgrounds, these hovering towers. This creative shortcut wasn't just budget wizardry. It let both cartoons feel new and lively without breaking the bank. The Jetsons, much like their Stone Age counterparts, achieved big visual dreams on a tight dime. Next time you spot a familiar couch or skyline in old reruns, you'll see how the past and the future literally shared the same scene. The magic of Hanna-Barbera's resourcefulness quietly shaped the world's vision of both tomorrow and the distant past. Ready for more secrets behind the glimmering chrome of Orbit City? Number 2. The theme song became a Billboard hit. That iconic Jetsons theme, brassy, bouncy, sticking in your brain like bubblegum, was more than just throwback TV magic. Composed by Hoyt Curtin, the tune was instantly tied to flying cars, sprockets, and Sunday morning reruns in millions of homes. But here's a wild twist. In 1986, nearly a quarter century after its 1962 debut, the Jetsons theme slid onto the Billboard Adult Contemporary chart. Kids who'd grown up watching it before school on UHF channels suddenly heard it on the radio, sandwiched between Phil Collins and Whitney Houston. It proves how deep the melody wormed into pop culture, transcending generations and sparking a wave of home video nostalgia at the time. The Jetsons wasn't just a cartoon anymore. It was an American anthem, instantly recognizable at family gatherings or on the tinny speaker of a Burger King kid's meal toy. That sound, bright as a chrome skyline, lingers in our collective memory. Next up, let's see what other hidden details still shine beneath that space-age sheen. Number 3. George's boss was almost named Knuckles. In the far-flung world of the Jetsons, your 9 to 5 meant clocking in at Spacely Sprockets under the watchful eye of George's pint-sized, hot-tempered boss. But few know this snappy supervisor had an edgier working name in the early 1962 scripts. Joseph Barbera, master of cartoon magic, almost saddled him as Mr. Knuckles, a moniker ripped straight from gangster flicks and smoky backrooms. Barbera vetoed it, worried Mr. Knuckles carried too much underworld grit for Orbit. City's shiny optimism. Enter Mr. Spacely, a name with a zip, a wink, and just the right dose of space-age bounce. Spacely embodied the corporate hustle, scheming, shouting, but always with futurist flair. Choosing Spacely shaped the show's personality, trading mobster mystery for a sunny 1960s vision of the workplace. These small choices, like a name, made all the difference in the colorful, whirring conveyor belt of Jetsons lore. As we peer further into the secrets of this cosmic sitcom, the pace of the space age only seems to pick up. Number 4. The Jetsons' Skypad apartments had no ground floor. Hovering high above the clouds, Orbit City from the Jetsons offered viewers a vision of the future unlike anything else on television in 1962. If you watched closely, there was something eerie about those towering skypads and swooping sky ramps. There was never a glimpse of street life or a playground below. Every workspace, home, and restaurant floated on stalk-like columns. Visual whimsy. It came straight from the anxieties of the early 60s. Out-of-control pollution and fears of crammed megacities led sci-fi writers to imagine humans fleeing skyward, leaving Earth's surface uninspired, or maybe even uninhabitable. Hanna-Barbera brought that idea to Saturday mornings, giving kids like you endless blue backdrops and surreal architecture. The Jetsons only aired one original season from 1962 to 1963, yet its floating visions still pop up in everything from retro toys to city planning daydreams. As we drift past these hovering homes, you might catch yourself wondering, what did they think was hiding on the ground far below? Number 5. Rosie was modeled after a real housekeeper. You can almost hear Rosie's metallic footsteps zipping across the Jetson family's spotless sky-high apartment. But did you know that Rosie's signature sass wasn't just cooked up in a studio? Animators behind the Jetsons drew inspiration straight from home, modeling Rosie after their own childhood nannies and hard-working housekeepers. This wasn't just a robotic character. They filled filled Rosie's circuit board with the no-nonsense wisdom and slice-of-life humor they'd grown up with. That memorable rapport she shared with George and Jane, even the way she called out Elroy for his mischief, came direct from the real-life women who kept their households running back in the 50s and 60s. In the early episodes in 1962, Rosie's presence was more than functional. She was practically family, crossing wires and social boundaries alike. It's proof that a little heart, humor, and old-school grit never go out of style, even in Orbit City. Now, as we coast on toward the next high-tech quirk, it's hard not to miss her familiar clatter echoing down those futuristic halls. Let's pause for a second. Did you ever wish you had a robot maid like Rosie? Or maybe someone in your house kept things running with similar sass and heart? Drop your Jetsons memories and who kept your childhood home buzzing below. Number 6. The Jetsons car sound was made with a vacuum. Nothing says the future like the high-pitched whir of George Jetson's flying car. But that zippy sound effect wasn't beamed in from a distant galaxy. Sound designer Greg Watson actually recorded an Electrolux vacuum cleaner, then flipped the tape backwards, creating a sound both otherworldly and oddly familiar. In the world of Hanna-Barbera's The Jetsons, everything seemed designed to evoke Tomorrowland, yet the actual tools were pure 1962 suburbia. That Electrolux mainstay in living rooms across America became the hidden engine behind one of animation's most recognizable soundscapes. Watson's choice captures the spirit of the era, making do with what you had, blending hope for the future with the comforts of home. So, the next time you hear George's car zip by, remember, the magic of the future sometimes starts with a hum beneath your grandma's carpet. In the next chapter, we'll see what else behind-the-scenes genius brought this animated utopia to life. Number 7. The Jetsons predicted tanning beds. Picture this. Jane Jetson, perfectly coiffed and unfazed, lounging in a glowing tube that looks suspiciously like the tanning beds lining strip malls today. When the Jetsons debuted in 1962, its parade of wild inventions seemed straight from science fiction. Food on conveyor belts, video calls, robot vacuums, and Jane's favorite, the magazine-ready tanning machine. With a flick of a button, she soaks up rays, all without leaving her living room. What most fans never realized is that these iconic gadgets weren't just drawn from thin air. The show's writers obsessively read science journals, clipping ideas on sleep learning, remote learning, and sun lamp therapy, nudging the ordinary toward possibility. Years later, tanning beds first really popped up in American gyms and beauty salons in the late 1970s, finally delivering Jane Jetson's pampered promise to everyday folks. That subtle hum, the blue glow, suddenly her cartoon world didn't seem so far off. For a moment, under the lights or on the couch, viewers felt tomorrow was only a commercial breakaway. Number 8. Judy Jetson's voice changed in the 80s. Few sounds say Saturday morning quite like Judy Jetson's bubbly voice. For the original Jetsons run in 1962, Janet Waldo guided Judy's signature squeal through futuristic mishaps week after week. But when Jetsons, the movie, arrived in 1990, everything changed. Instead of Waldo, the film featured the pop sensation Tiffany as Judy, a move the studio hoped would attract a younger, music-loving crowd. But fans were heartbroken. Letters poured in to Hanna-Barbera, demanding the return of Waldo's familiar sparkle. Despite the uproar and heartfelt apologies from the studio, Tiffany's take stayed locked in. For longtime viewers, it was a jolt, as if Orbit City itself had hit the reset button. All these years later, that switch remains a lightning rod for Jetsons fans, a reminder of how one voice, just one, can shape so many memories. Next up, let's tune in for another twist from television's time machine. Number 9. Jetsons crossover with the Flintstones. Picture this: George Jetson, in all his mid-century space-age glory, suddenly zipping through time to land right in bedrock. That's exactly what happened in the 1987 primetime movie, The Jetsons Meet the Flintstones. Fans tuned in, wide-eyed, to see their futuristic favorites swap quips and culture shocks with Barney, Wilma, and the gang from prehistory. This classic crossover did more than mash up two iconic families. It rewrote Saturday morning logic. Suddenly, the skyways of Orbit City and the dino-powered cars of Bedrock were just a time machine apart. Animators reveled in the chaos, tossing their characters into jokes about traffic jams, gadgets, and even primitive pizza delivery. The Jetsons Meet the Flintstones was a ratings win for Hanna-Barbera, and proof that cartoon universes, no matter how different, could mix to magical effect. Even decades later, you can't help but imagine George and Fred sharing a chuckle whenever a time machine revs up. And with that moment, television showed us that the most unexpected friendships might still be waiting just around the next time warp. Number 10. George Jetson's age is hotly debated. You can almost hear the whirl of Rosie the robot when talk turns to George Jetson's true age. Some promotional material claims George's birthday is July 31st, 2022, making him a young adult today, if we follow the Jetsons' playful math. But how does that fit with the show's vision of the distant future, with flying cars, dog-walking treadmills, and atomic-age optimism? Since its first air date in 1962 on ABC, the Jetsons invited generations into a tomorrow filled with robot butlers and video phone calls. Fans still trade theories online. If George is born in 2022, how old is he, in dog years or otherwise, by the time his world arrives? Was Hanna-Barbera just goofing around with numbers to spark conversation? The Jetsons thrives because its future always seems right around the corner, close enough to imagine, yet just out of reach. As debates about George's birth year continue, we're reminded that time in the cartoon universe is always a little bit elastic. Maybe like George, we're all still waiting for our own flying car to show up. Number 11. The show lasted one season. At first, the sound of George Jetson zooming to work in his flying car might seem like a permanent fixture in pop culture, but the original Jetsons had a surprisingly short run. Premiering in 1962 on ABC, The Jetsons was television's first program broadcast in color on the network, beaming a retro-futuristic vision of daily family life. Viewers met Jane, Judy, Elroy, and the ever-loyal dog Astro across just 24 sparkling episodes before ABC canceled the show after a single season in 1963. Syndication changed everything. As reruns played throughout the 70s, a new generation discovered Rosie the robot maid and those famous conveyor belt sidewalks. Demand for more sent Hanna-Barbera back to work in the mid-1980s, churning out brand new episodes and a feature film, finally cementing Orbit City as television royalty. The Jetsons' rocky road proved that sometimes a show simply needs time to find its audience, or just the right nostalgia to kickstart its future. Let's see who else almost slipped through the cracks of television history. Number 12. Jetsons' dog Astro had a different voice. Here's a zany twist from Orbit City itself. In the very first Jetsons pilot, the family's loyal dog Astro didn't have his famous roo-row bark, or even the lovable, clumsy charm we remember today. When the Jetsons zoomed onto ABC in 1962, Astro was originally designed as a satirical robotic canine, more gadget than goofball. But showrunners soon realized the cartoon needed a little heart. Enter Don Messick, who was later cast after animation tests, revealed that Astro should be more soulful than silly. Messick, already famous as the voice of Scooby-Doo, added that scratchy, affectionate voice that made Astro instantly huggable. From that point on, every roo-row and misadventure redefined him, reshaping the show's tone from metallic to downright cuddly. With one casting choice, a cold robot sidekick became the animated best friend every 60s kid wanted. Suddenly, the future felt warmer, and Astro's bark echoed in living rooms for generations to come, reminding us that even tomorrow needs a little old-fashioned affection. Number 13. The Jetsons predicted video calls. Remember sitting cross-legged on shag carpet as Hanna-Barbera's Jetsons beamed across your TV, offering a glimpse of tomorrow's wonders? One thing that still feels uncanny: their living room video calls. Season 1, which aired on ABC in 1962, made the idea of chatting face-to-face through screens feel like just another Tuesday. The Jetsons called their contraption the Televiewer, an oversized monitor where Jane would answer calls from her friends, slyly apply makeup, or even screen George's boss. This wasn't just wild cartoon fantasy. The show's creators pored over popular science and real space-age news to get those predictions right, crafting tech dreams straight from the pages of early 60s magazines. It's stunning now to realize that nearly 50 years before smartphones or FaceTime made video calling routine, Jetsons fans were already imagining a world where saying hello meant seeing your loved one's face. Next time you reach for your phone, remember how the Jetsons made the future feel dazzling, and sometimes just a little bit weirder. Number 14. Rosie the robot was almost a man. Picture the hum of a futuristic home, bright pastels, and bubble-shaped everything. Nestled at the Jetsons' high-rise apartment is their beloved housekeeper, Rosie the robot. But here's a twist. Early in the Jetsons' development in 1962, original concept art didn't feature Rosie as we know her. Instead, the robot helper was drawn as Rosie, a male butler, stately and mechanical. Seasoned network executives stepped in, sensing that viewers craved something a bit more nurturing. They pushed for a motherly touch to balance out George, Jane, Judy, and Elroy, swapping Rosie's masculine features for an apron, pearls, and sass. Even the spelling shifted, giving us the iconic Rosie. Voiced by Jean Vanderpill, who also played Wilma Flintstone, Rosie instantly felt like part of America's zaniest family. These tuning fork decisions shaped more than cartoon trivia. They baked warmth into our vision of the future. Next time you picture Rosie whizzing around with her feather duster, remember? She very nearly wore a bow tie, not pearls. The future looked different until Rosie made it her own. Number 15. The Jetsons was the first ABC show in color. When the Jetsons soared onto television screens in 1962, it promised a shiny, high-tech version of tomorrow. Robot maids, flying cars, and all. But here's the twist. Though the show bathed its world in dazzling color, almost no one at home could see it that way. Only a tiny slice of American families actually owned color TV sets at that point. Still, ABC rolled the dice, choosing the Jetsons as its very first color broadcast. They weren't just introducing a cartoon, they were making a statement about the future of entertainment. Hanna-Barbera's bright palette and retro-futuristic style were a bold invitation for viewers. Get ready for what's next, and maybe splurge on a new set. This wasn't just another animated sitcom. It was a milestone in TV history. Even if most families viewed George, Jane, and Astro in black and white, the sense of wonder and optimism beamed through, hinting at a world that was only a heartbeat away, from the family room to the far future. And as we jump ahead, the spaceships are just getting started.